Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Inspire SA. Your host for today, or presenter for today, Narcisse Mbuyu, and today we'll be uh, building on from what we've been doing for the past few weeks on natural language processing. This time we'll be focusing on text translator. Last week in the previous episode, we found out more information about what is text translator, how does it work, what exactly it does, and how exactly can we use it. And then we ended up by doing like a small demo at the end. So today we want to build up on that small demo and build even more demos for us to see exactly how text translator works, how exactly we can use it, and where exactly can we use it to emphasize what we did last week, basically. And then we'll be moving on to other things and see how it goes along, basically. So yeah, to get started, we'll just do a small recap from what we did last time out. So as you can see on my screen, this is the code from what we did last time out. The code from last week's episode of AI Tuesday, where we did a simple text translator. We put in the words "Hello World" and it simply translated it from German to Italian, and then we even went further to translate it from English to German to Croatian. And now let's just see exactly how it works, how we went about it to make it work. So here's the code here, and let's run it quickly just for us to see exactly it works. Zoom in a bit, and then you can see "Hello World" in German, and then "Salut tout le monde" in French. As you can see, the text translator how it actually works. So here's the code that we did last week. I explained it in the previous episode. I won't go through it again. All you have to do is just add your own public key, basically. Get your own key that you're gonna use, basically. So how exactly do you get this key? You simply go to Azure, right? Simply go to Azure, log on to Azure, and this is my Azure portal already loaded. And then just zoom in a little bit for you to see, right? And then you go over to search translator, right? And it pops up this blue one with the A, it pops as translator. You click on it, it loads, and there's it, it's loaded, Cognitive Services Translator. As you can see, I've already created my translator app, so I won't create it again, but I'll just show you how to quickly create it. Create, click create, it's loading. And then it starts with the details for you to enter your details to create your resource, your translator resource, basically. So you enter your resource group, you put in your resource group, your region, select the region, and note that you'll need this region later on when we're doing the code. You name it, and then you choose your pricing tier. So I can't really choose a pricing tier because I already chose the free pricing tier. So you can only have one free pricing tier per for the translator. So if you already have one, you can't create another one. You have to pay for the next one you create. So that's how you create the translator resource on Azure. And then the next thing that you'll need are the keys and endpoint. So after the resource that has been created, you come to the translator, the resource that you created, the translator resource, and then you come to resource management, and you see keys and endpoint. We'll be needing these keys and endpoint when we're doing our code. So that's about it. So with Azure, that's what you need from Azure. So to get started will be doing the first application that we'll be doing is detecting the language while translating, right? Detecting the language while translating. Let's open Visual Studio. Open Visual Studio, it's opening. Console application, detecting language of translating. creating, and we're gonna get started with the code. So there you go, my Visual Studio just loaded right now. And then the first thing that we're gonna do is just pop up here by the GitHub to add our application that we created to GitHub, so you have access to it. So there is it, you just go to add source control and it's gonna add it to GitHub and upload the application to GitHub. So I'll quickly do that, add it. As you can see, the Git repository, Git repository is going to add it to our GitHub basically. Adding our details. I don't want to make it private. Create and publish. So it's going to create our application to GitHub basically. And you can have access to it if you go to our GitHub repository. And the next thing that we're going to do quickly is to go to our NuGet package manager. So all you go to tools, NuGet package manager, NuGet package manage for tools. Browse, and we're gonna install the JSON API, NewSoft JSON. This one, yeah. NewSoft JSON is the first one that comes up on your list. When I need it, because we'll be dealing with JSON as well for the application. So it's been installed in the application. So the next thing that we're gonna do is write the code. So I've already done it. I'm just gonna copy and paste and explain exactly what needs to be done. So the first thing that I did, if I quickly zoom in, is I first started by adding my resource keys, right? Private static read only subscription key, or which I got from my Azure, the endpoint key, is it here, I got from my keys. And then after that, I entered the endpoint, which is already provided. The endpoint, which you can also get it from Azure if it's not there, the endpoint there. And then endpoint, and then after that after entering your endpoint, basically you also enter your location. So remember when the location of the resource that I told you to create, my one is West Europe, that's why it's there. So whatever a location that you chose for your resource, you're gonna write in there. And then after that, you will start in your main method. So that's outside, just for authentication, basically, to connect to your resource. And then after that, it says string root is equal to. So this is very important because it tells us what exactly you want to do. So translate API version 3 is the service that we're using, right? And then 2DE and 2 IT. So this is the code for what we want, for the languages that we want to translate to or to detect. So the fact that it says DE, means detect whatever language has been entered and translated to Italian. That's what it simply means. So whatever language we write, we want it to translate it to Italian. So the language that we put in is hello world. So that is English. We already know it's English. We wanted to take that in English. And then after that, you finish setting up your parameter that will be needed, and you build your request. Right? You build your request and then output. Simple as that. All there's comments there to help you as you do the code. And I'll just explain what exactly you will need. You need your endpoint and the instructions, what exactly you want to do. So after that, I'll quickly run it for us to see what we're working with. So as you can see, detected language is EN, right? And a score of 1.0. So now the score tells us how confident it is that this is the language English. This EN over here is just the code of the English language on Microsoft Azure, basically. So that's why it's classified as EN for English. So there are other various languages who also has a certain codes. You need to know those codes in order for you to use them. For the English language, is EN. So it successfully detected the language that we put in, which was English, right? And then let's look at the translation. It translates from German to French again. To Italian, as you can see. I love Vault is in Dutch, in German, and then Salve Mondo is in Italian. I'm not pronouncing it correctly, but you get the gist. So that's about it. Just a quick recap. This DE, right? DE is to detect the language, whatever language has been entered. This DE is for the German language, right? And then this 2 equal is for to detect the language, basically, to detect the language that is in. So detect German language and then Italian in simplicity. So that's about it. It's already been uploaded into our GitHub repository. But let me just add one more thing. Get your own key. Okay. Save. Application has been saved, and it's also been uploaded to GitHub as well. So the next thing that we're gonna do is just to detect the language without translating it. Detect the language without translating. Name application. So Visual Studio has been opened up again. We do the same thing. Add to source control. Add to source control, as you can see. So you can upload the application to GitHub one time. I'm gonna make it 5 words. Create and push. Let me just fix this. Control. So it's been added to GitHub, it's been uploaded to GitHub, and then we can go ahead and start with our code again. Again, before that, we have to install Newton, the Newton JSON package. NewtonSoft.json, that's the one we're looking for. So you just click on it, select it, install. So it's been installed, basically. So now again with the code, so what we're doing here is just we want to detect the language without translating, and that's possible, right? So you can just enter any language that you want, is going to be able to detect it for you. But sending that language that you put, or that sentence that you put, is going to send it to Azure, look for detect the language, and send you back the result. That's what basically it's doing. So there's the code, right? There's the code. Again, you get your subscription key, your endpoint key from Azure. You get your endpoint key from Azure. Get your endpoint key from Azure. And let me zoom in. Get your endpoint key from Azure, or subscription key, and also your endpoint, basically, and you enter in your location. Those are splendid. You really need it for you to get started with. And then onto the main method. So the key highlight that I want to point out here is just detect, right? So previously we had the whole translation because we wanted we wanted to translate the text and also detect. So that's why it was very long, because it had translation and detect at the same time. But this one we just want to detect. The keyword is here is detect. So by saying that it's just going to detect the language, and then the language or the text that we want to detect, text to language detect, is this word here, this sentence here. I don't know what language it is. We're gonna find out, right? And then after that, you finish building you're setting your parameters, and you build the request that's gonna ask for the language to be detected, and it's gonna send you the result, or they'll send you the response. Again, you can find the source code on our GitHub repository, and if you have any questions, you can put them in the comment section, right? And then let's run it to see. Let's look at our results. So the language that was detected is Dutch or German, for people who speak German, Dutch, and the confidence score is 1.0. And then is translated supported true? It supports translation. Is translation supported false? So it doesn't support transliteration, which we're gonna move on to just now. So let's put in another language or another sentence. Let's write bonjour. You know that this is French. Let's just give it a test. Bonjour, right? So I change the text to be detected, and let's run it and see what comes up. Again, let's look at our results. So the language that's been detected is French, and its score is 1.0. It's confident that it's French. We know that it's French just to be sure. And then is translation supported? True. And translation is not supported. We're gonna move on to that. If you want to know what is translation, we're gonna see that in the next step that we'll be making. So that's the detecting the language with that translation part already done. Just save it one more time, and it's already on GitHub. It's your phone key, and then save. Save. Let's move on to transliteration. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Transliteration. So before we move on, you can get the list of supported languages for translation and transliteration on the official Microsoft Docs. I'll put the link in the comment section, right? So these are all the languages that are supported for translation, from Afrikaans, Albanian, Croatian, Czech, English, French, all the way down to even Klingon. I don't know if you watch series and you know about Klingon, and then all the way down to Yaktik Maya. So that's the last language that it supports. I wish they could add Zulu for us who live in South Africa. So now the next part that we're moving on is translation. So you see some languages, they deal with symbols, right? They deal with symbols, and they deal with symbols. So now we want to translate it to a certain word or into English, and it's hard because of the symbols that are there. So that's where translation comes in, as I mentioned last time in the previous episode. For more information, just check out the previous episode, right? So these are also the list of supported languages for translation, basically. Translation. You can find this in our link on our bio, basically. So now let's create the translation app and see how exactly it works. Visual Studio just opened up. Again, as I said, add to source control to edit to GitHub. Let me quickly edit to GitHub. So you can easily access it on our GitHub repository, basically. Inspires the GitHub repository. So now it's been added into the GitHub repository. Then next up, we're gonna move on to tools, right? Tools, and then you're gonna go to NuGet Package Manager, and then we're gonna choose NuGet Package for Solutions, right? And then come to Browse, and then we're gonna select Newtonsoft.json and install quickly. And let's do our application. So as I mentioned last time out, the transliteration is the conversion of characters from one language to another. So I'm gonna take it out just now. Get the code, copy it, and then paste it. Again, you're gonna need your key from Azure and your endpoint and your location as well. Those things are standard, as I explained last time out. And then the key highlight that I want to focus on is this part here, right? So this is the call to the API, translate API version 3. And then over here, right, 2. As I mentioned last time, it detects the language by itself. And then TH stands for Thai. So the language Thai. And then and to script. So this to script is important to translate from one language to another. And the to script is equal to Latin. So I want to translate from Thai to Latin, basically. And then the word that we want to translate is hello. So it's gonna take this word hello is gonna translate it to Thai, and then translate it to Latin. We'll see how it works right now. And then the rest is just to finish setting your parameters and calling the request, and it displaying the response that you get from the request. As I said, all of this is already created. You just call and display, call and display, call and display. Let me quickly run it. So here's the result of it. The detected language is English, right? The detected language is English. And then the translation, look, if you look at the translation, it's all common, question marks, and you ask yourself, why is it question marks? Well, from what I've seen, or from what I read about, is like your PC, if it has that language on your PC, it will be able to display. But if it's not, there, it's going to display this question marks, right? And then the translation that took place, if I zoom in quickly, right? It says text. That's the translation in Latin. SAW. I don't know how to pronounce it. Swatini. I don't know how to pronounce it, but that's the Latin translation of the word hello from Thai, right? Let's quickly try another language to see exactly how it works. Let's try Greek, right? Let's try Greek. Change the code from TH. And I'll put EL. EL is the code for Greek, right? Save, run. A bit. So as you can see, the language detected is English. The translation of hello into Greek is this right here. Let's zoom in a bit again. As you can see, the translation is that, right, in Greek. I don't know how to pronounce it, it's in Greek. And you see, it's all with funny characters and everything like that. But now this is the translation from Greek into Latin. Garcia Sas. You see, this is like so cool. I won't lie. Like you get to learn more languages by doing this type of thing. Like it's really awesome. What if there's a language that doesn't support translation? Let's try um, Japanese. Japanese is JA, right? You look at the code JA. That's our JA. The code says run it, right? Let's look at our code JA. So this is our translation, right? It's been translated, and then the text in Latin is still the same konnichiwa. That's strange. We thought that it's supposed to have funny characters and everything, but it doesn't, because konnichiwa is its own word by itself. It's simple and straightforward, so there's no really need of transliteration. Basically, that's it's still the same word. Yeah, so you can play around with it and see exactly how to get along with it. But I won't lie, this is so cool. That it really is cool, really. So quickly, going to save it. It's already been saved. Just add one more comment. Remember to get your own key. All of this will be possible if you get your own key. Get your own key. Get your own key. It's already on GitHub. So I'm just going to close it for now, and we'll move on to our next app. We're almost finished. Visual Studio. So now we want to translate without detecting the language. Right? We want to translate without detecting the language and doing the translation as well. So we get Visual Studio is opened up again. Again, the same procedure: upload it to GitHub and install newtonsoft.json and to Git. And it's gonna make it private. Oh, nice. So it's been uploaded to GitHub, and then Newtonsoft tools, Newton package for solutions. Again, copy and paste the code because I've already done it instead of for you watching me code, right? Instead of you watching me code, paste it quickly. Again, the procedure, the standard is your keys and your endpoint address and your location as well. That must be already there. And then your root, which is very important. The key point that we must focus on over here is translate the same API that we're calling, right? Translate API version 3. And then if you look closely here, it says to, right? So it's the language for it that's going to translate. And then from Thai to Latin, it's just gonna show us the translated language by itself without the translation or the translation language, basically. Like it just shows us the translated language, which is Latin. So it's going to show us the word in Latin, basically. And finish building up your parameters and build your request and display the response. The word that will be translating again is hello. We're going to put it into Latin, right? Let's run it to see how it is. Zoom in a bit. So as you can see, translation text Swahili script is Latin and it's from Thai. Simple as that. We can even try another language just to see exactly how it works. I'd say let's try ER for Greek. Replace the TH. Remember, TH is just code for Thai, and now replace it with Greek. So run. Let's see what it is. The results. So now, as you can see, the text is translated into Greek, and from Greek, it shows that the translation language, which is Latin, is as we saw last time. I don't know how to pronounce it, but that's the translated language in Latin, basically. You can try with other languages that support translation, like Arabic, Japanese, Chinese, etc. There's a whole lot, which is really awesome. This makes people's jobs easier if you think about it. Add one more comment, get your own key. Save. And somewhere left, open Visual Studio again. And now we'll be finding out the length of the characters in each sentence that we're going to be translating. Because that comes in handy. You want to say how many characters or words that sentence consists of. So, loading. So Visual Studio has been loaded again. Same procedure. Add to source control, upload it to GitHub. Makes our life very easy, I have to say. Yes, let it load quickly. Want it to be private. Okay. Push it to GitHub. So it's been created. The repository is being created. Tools. We need the new soft JSON for our displays of our response to be displayed in JSON as well. JSON. You're probably wondering what is JSON. Install. So Newton JSON has been installed, and now we're gonna be finding out the character length or the length of our sentences using the text translator application, basically. So again, the code has already been done. I just copy and paste it so you don't see me coding. Again, most important is what you need is your key, endpoint key that you get from your Azure resource, your endpoint, and your location where you created your resource. And then the one that you must focus on for this one, right, is the root called the API key version 3. And then over here it says to, it detects the language, right? It detects the language to Espanol. So it simply says detect the whatever language it is right? And translate it to Espanol. And then over here, it says include sentence length. So this is the code that will tell us to include the sentence length in the response. It says it's equal to true. If I say false, it won't display the sentence length because it's false, but now it's true because I want the sentence length. And then the sentence that we want to count is, can you tell me how to get to the pen station? Or you unsure? That's fine. So that's the sentence that we want to translate to Spanish first, and then get the translation, the sentence length for both languages, right? For the one in English and the one in Espanol, right? So now you finish building your parameter, build a request, and display your response, right? Display your response. Let's quickly run it. Quickly run it. Now let's look at our response. So the language that was detected was English, right? The translation into Spanish, right? So this is quite a long one. I'm just going to quickly zoom in, right? So the translation to Spanish, I don't know how to read Spanish, but that's the text translated into Spanish. And now, if you look here, right, 44, 21, 12. So it tells us the sentence length for each of the language that is there. So the first one is for the English one, and then the second one at the end. The second one at the end is for the one in Spanish. So you can see that the Spanish one has more words than the one in English. Than the one in English. So 44, 21, 12, 44, 22, 10. But pardon me, I made a mistake. The one at the end, right? The one at the end here is English. The last one is English. You can even tell by the words. It says sentence length, SRC, right? The normal one is English. So 44, 21, 12. And it says translated sentence length, 44, 22, 10. So the last one is in Spanish and the first one is in English. It tells us the length of the sentence, right? And we can even verify it if you look at our code, go down to our word. Like the last one is 10 letters, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. See, 10 characters that makes up that sentence, and it applies to every other languages as well. So that's the end of that one. Just add one more comment. Save. And the last app for today that we'll be making is to get to detect the sentence length without the translation. We just want the length of the sentence, right? So we're gonna do the same thing, but this time we're just gonna exclude the translation. Right? Exclude the translation. Long name for project. Visual Studio loaded, and again, same procedure, add to source control for it to be uploaded to GitHub, to Git. Oh, I almost made it private. Create and push, it's been uploaded. And then the next one is tools. Tools for the tools for the NuGet package, as you can see, tools, and then all the way down to NuGet package manage console for solutions. It's opened up, and you can see installed. Nothing is installed there, so I'm simply going to go to browse to it and to look for something to install. Basically, Newton source.json. Start it again because we're gonna need it. Okay, it's been installed, and then let's get back to our code. Okay, but again, as mentioned before, you need your key, your endpoint, and the location. It won't work without this. This is very important because that's what it connects to. And then last one, the one that you must focus on is this keyword, break sentence, in front of the API, right? This break sentence is just gonna detect the sentence length without translation because of this break sentence. You see in the previous one, the break sentence wasn't there. That's why it was translating and breaking, telling us the sentence length. We even had to say sentence length is equal to true, if you remember. So now, but this break is will just detect the sentence length and give us the output. And then same word that we used last time. Can you tell me how to get to the pen station, or you aren't there? That's fine, right? And then you're gonna finish building a parameter, and you can see the object parameter. You build your request and output the response from the request, right? That's what you do. And then let's run it to end off. So now let's look at it. Detected language is English, right? And then the sentence length is 44:21:12. As you can see, it just detects the language and it doesn't translate, but it just detects the language and tells us the sentence length. Let's put it hello to see exactly if this one is really legit and works properly. Hello. How are you? Right? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So we're expecting around 14 letters. Let's quickly run it. See the results. Oh, 17. So I was wrong, my counting. As you can see, 17 characters. The length of the sentence that I just wrote is 17. Consider 17 characters, which is pretty cool. So these are some of the applications that you can use to get started or with the text translator on Azure. Just one more comment to end off. Okay. Close that. So there you go. That's the end of today's episode of AI Tuesday. It took longer than expected. I thought it would be shorter, but there you go. We've done some various applications on text translator. We got to salvage some of the tools that it offers on Azure. So we basically, what we did, it already exists. What we did, we just called the API, tell it what we're looking for, and just output the results. So you can salvage it to make your own application, your own text translator. Whatever comes to mind, you can salvage it in whatever way you want. So next week, we'll be taking a look at text translator for documents. So instead of translating the small words that we've put here, like these small sentences that we've put here, we're going to translate the whole document and see exactly how it works out. So there you go. That's it from my side on the Aspire SA team. Be sure to join us this Saturday, and Somalese and Fanny will be showing us more about SharePoint. So stay safe and tune in for more on Inspire SA.